playing with confidence. You know, we talked about trying to grow Obama. He makes a shot in Portland. I think his confidence is at an all-time high, and it should be. And I think, as I said earlier, his defense is the thing that I'm most happy with. He's actually sitting in a stance and isn't like an isolation pick-on type guy all the time. They still will try to test him. I think he holds his ground way more now than he has in the past. And he's playing good basketball, and we need him to.
Coach, Josh's stat line, 11, 7, and 6, and it kind of just seemed like he was all over the floor. What kind of versatility does he bring to the lineup every night?
He's a wiry, you know, active, gangly, you know, at times just you're not sure which direction he's going to go offensively. He can make plays defensively. I think he's got a motor that lets him play hard incredibly frequently. It's hard to maintain that tenacity and energy, you know, with anybody, and I'm surprised he actually has a endurance level that I see. He's incredibly different to our other players in a positive way. He is a defensive-minded stopper that can guard multiple positions, and for all those reasons, his importance to this team cannot be underestimated.
Trey and Raul both have done some nice things the last two games. When Ben comes back, do you anticipate trying out any lineups with them and Ben on the court together?
I think you'd doubt it. I feel like there are outliers in every game. You know, tonight, as an example, I went with Kyle and Al for a little chunk of time, and maybe I could. Or maybe I would rather do that. It would have to be like under kind of funny circumstances. It would be an outlier. But the fact that it is possible, because I think those two guards have played well, is exciting. It's one of those in-game adjustments that you would make, knowing that, you know, that is a unique lineup that you just asked about.
With the emergence of Trey and Raul, does that mean the Josh Richardson backup point guard idea, like, is that kind of out the window for now? Or?
I wouldn't say anything's out. We're finding our way. We have different options, you know, and I think that, I mean, you've heard me use the phrase horses for courses. It's like based on who are you playing and who's playing well. And I don't feel married to anything, you know, this early in the season. Like, what is it? Was that our 8th game? 9th game? You know, and so you just kind of like figure it out. And as far as putting a death spell on any of those people you just said, that's not going to happen. You know, like, I feel open to playing the people I think it's going to take to win that on that night.
Coach, with that in mind, Matisse's role has changed over the past few games. What was the impetus for that, and how do you see that playing out?
Yeah, a little bit of connected to the Ben Simmons injury. You know, I ended up going with the 2 small point guards, and with that, something had to give. And in a funny way, it's also connected to Kyle Kyle O'Quinn playing well, and so the flexibility that I have to play different people based on, you know, whether the injury, to say to Ben Simmons as an example, or the way Denver players were, we had to go find some people to match up with some flyers. I felt more comfortable going with the point guards doing that, and it is the second game. I think, like I said in the pre-game press, you know, it's just part of his life. It's the evolution of being an NBA rookie on a really good team. And so I'm mindful of keeping his spirit up and his confidence up and communicating with him on some of the things that I just said.
What have you thought about your transition offense with Ben on the sideline?
It has been a little slower. Not because, I mean, Trey is a motor, and Raul pushes the pace, but Ben is of that just elite breakaway sort of breakneck speed, and he does it a lot of times after the defensive rebound. And so even if, like, Joe rebounds and throws it to Trey and then off he goes, it's about 4 seconds, I bet even longer, slower than if you can rebound and lead the break. And so I think it's a little bit slower for those reasons. I still like our pace. You know, we're trying to, as we've admitted, trying to get Joel in increasingly better and better and better shape. I thought Zella, you know, made him run a lot in the first half. But our pace is always something that, you know, we want to look at first and then admit we have some post targets.
Any common thread that cut down the turnovers in the second half?
This is what I tell the team. Until we can fix this, this is a house built on sand. It is fool's gold. And we have to find a discipline and a better way to control that. Because the turnovers in the first half, some of them were live ball. A lot of them we were just getting things batted out of our hands. And we can't fool ourselves. This is a problem. This is a problem. And we need to own it. I'm the head coach. I got to find a way to fix it. And there needs to be a level of accountability with the players. And that's that. And so it's not anything that we take lightly. We don't dismiss it. The times are over where you're looking at some of the young guys and you can justify it. You can't do that anymore. And it's time that we get better at that. And the players know it. You know, they understand it, but we got to fix it. And that's how I see the turnover thing in general.
Brett, you talked about
Last one, guys.
pregame about Joe rolling to the basket. Now you thought he could have done a better job of that on the trip. Tonight, did you see a noticeable difference, and how much does that open things up for your entire offense when he's doing that?
I mean, because any way you slice it, it's talking about how do you get the ball to the paint or closer to the basket. And you can do that on rolling and getting that pocket pass and collapsing the defense, and he can quarterback a gym or maybe go finish. You can do that on some early post-ups. I liked us posting tonight. I thought we found Joe. I thought we found Al early and played off those two guys and got rewarded for it. I think to your question of, like, did we see, you know, a more committed screener and then a more committed roller? Yes. It's still the most difficult person in the gym to box out. The roller is an elite offensive rebounder most times, and I think that we got some that way. That part of us is never going to go away in my job as the coach. Like, it's something I think we just have to get better at and master. And I thought he did a pretty good job of trying to do that tonight.